Welcome to Fintech Chatter News, presented by Tier 1 People, leaders in fintech executive search. Follow us on your favorite podcast player or Fintech Chatter TV on YouTube.
It's been a massive week for the Aussie Fintech industry. Intersekt was bigger and better than ever. 2 days of conversations, insights, friendships being formed, and connections being made. Kudos to Ryan, Lisa, Stuart, and everyone involved in putting the event together. Out of the hundreds of conversations that I had, and I'm sure you can hear my voice is a bit hoarse, I managed to record a few so I could share with you. I speak to a few fintech legends as well as founders from the next wave of fintech startups. And I also chat to some of the unsung heroes behind the scenes. Here's a chat I had with Luke Howes, one of the original gangsters of fintech, who's now supporting the next wave of Aussie fintech entrepreneurs. So I'm joined now by Luke Howes from Tanooki Ventures, one of the original gangsters of Australian fintech, the founder of Proviso. Luke, I can't believe you're making your debut, but I think you exited Proviso just as I was getting the podcast off the ground.
I'm glad to be on, Dexter. This is good.
Yeah, so mate, you were Tanooki Ventures, but before we talk about that, do you want to tell us just a little bit about Proviso and kind of the origins of that business?
Sure. So my brother Dallin and I started Proviso back in 2013. We saw a space in the market for bank data aggregation in Australia, a local solution, and we were initially looking at doing a budgeting app, but we got some feedback that there was really a need around responsible lending to get data quicker and faster and more efficient ways. And so we started working with a lot of the non-bank lenders in the market, providing bank data for them. We built all our own tech. So my brother Dallin was a CTO, built that tech. And so that started 2013. And it was just really the rise of the wave of fintech in Australia. Yeah. A lot of those early fintech lenders were starting back around the same time as us.
Yeah. Some kind of real notable things about Proviso as well is that you Adelaide based. Mm-hmm. Work with some, kind of stellar businesses as well. Growth of Lendy you were there early days.
Yeah, it was a great one. Like Lendy were real early days when we started working with them and providing their bank data. MoneyMe, they were just a couple of people in a serviced office when they started, and now you look at a public listed company, Zip, and so many. And we worked with some great non-bank lenders like them, and then went on to work with about 15 of the banks in Australia as well. So
cool. So you exited, was it 2020, I think?
Yeah, we finished up working 2020. We'd sold the business a couple of years earlier and then had a couple of years earn out.
Death row.
Yeah, it was good being in Adelaide. We got to do our own thing with our team, but at middle of 2020 we then stepped out, which was a pretty sad day actually, like leaving the team and our customers. Like we really, really loved just doing what we did.
Well, I want to talk to you a bit more about Tanooki Ventures, and the reason why I wanted to have that little chat about Proviso is I think it's extremely important that anybody who's working in the venture space has the experience of actually going through but getting it through to a successful exit. You got the blueprint from, the whole journey. Could you tell us a little bit more about Tanooki and kind of what your plans are?
Yeah, sure. So Tanooki is made up of me, my brother Dallin, and then my brother-in-law Blair. And Blair joined us in Proviso a couple of years in as well as our COO. And so the three of us, we use Tanooki as a vehicle to do some angel investing in fintechs and startups generally. And then also a few startups we really work a bit closer with to help them accelerate and just apply a lot of the lessons that we learned. Because we had many failures before Proviso, and then during Proviso there were things that we would definitely do different again. So we tried to learn the lessons and be students of the startup game, and we just try and share those things with founders now and help them accelerate, because we learn a lot about growth and just being close to customers, of how to prioritize and build product in a way that we felt was sustainable, how we were capital efficient, and so if we can share those lessons with founders, then we love doing it. We're founders at heart still. We might have another startup or two in us at some point, but at the moment we're all about supporting other founders.
It's tough time for founders at the minute. It's tough raising capital, but from what I can hear, the kind of early stage, seed stage, there seems to be more activity at that end of the market than, say, the kind of Series A, Series B, C level. What are you seeing out there, Luke?
Yeah, I think the valuations have definitely softened a bit, but there's definitely there's great companies out there, there's great founders with ideas. I think the market in Australia can take more great ideas and more people working on companies. It's really just a matter of working out how to get a product into the market, into the hands of users, so that you can get that market feedback about where you need to take the product and what you need to do. And if that requires a bit of funding, I think there's money out there for teams that can actually execute on doing that and listen to customers and work really closely with customers.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is really cool, not just about this Intersekt, but this year for fintech in Australia, is the kind of emergence of the next wave, not just of fintechs, but the next wave of investors. Yourselves, Dom Pim, Dave and Stu from Look Who's Charging.
Yep.
And not only great businesses, but just really cool people who I think have got the right intent as well as the right expertise to help this next wave of Aussie fintechs. What are the types of businesses that you think you'd be best aligned to, and Tanooki, who you can ideally looking to kind of partner with and support?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. There's just a great group of people who have grown startups and fintechs over the last 6, 7, 8 years, and now coming back into the market as investors is really, really cool. And talk often and regularly with a lot of those guys about what we're seeing in the market and what we're interested in. The things for us that we're interested in is definitely a team that has the ability to be able to build products, so a technical part of the business. And it's your old hacker and hustler, I think, combination. And that doesn't just need to be two people in a business, but the ability to be able to go out and make something happen with customers, get customers using it, the ability to sell. Revenue is really important for us. We bootstrapped our business, and so revenue was a focus from day one, and being really running lean. And so we look for founders, I think, that have those sorts of traits where they can get the product in the hands of customers, but then also incorporate feedback they get to then build, adapt the product, take it to the next level. And so work hand in hand with the customers, being really close to the market. And so they're the sort of companies, I think, if the ingredients are there, we feel like we can help with that, we can support that. And even if we can't, we'll be cheerleaders and give you introductions to others. And we're just happy to network with everyone, even if we're not invested or actively working with a company.
So we're here at Intersekt. What are you hoping to get from this next couple of days, and what's got you most excited about Intersekt 2022? I
have been traveling a lot less since we left Proviso, and so it's awesome just to be here mixing with heaps of people we know that we've seen in the past Intersekts. It's such a great place just to mix and mingle out in the foyers. The sessions are, of course, good. We've recently just become cornerstone investors in a debt fund called Rixon Capital. So that's one of our Tanooki projects. And so looking to talk to people who are interested in investing in the debt fund, or also businesses who are looking for debt funding, so non-dilutive capital as well. So that's we're right in the thick of that at the moment.
We were having a chat earlier, and we were talking about the podcast, and I was kind of mentioning one of the benefits of it. And then just as we were to come into the room to do this, I got pulled up by a founder and basically said, "Hey, I love your podcast. It's really helped me." Obviously, we get lots of founders tuning in. If somebody's listening, and they think that potentially that that could be worth an introduction or a chat, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Probably LinkedIn. Just look me up, Luke Howes on LinkedIn, and send me a message there, and I'll get back to you and we can work something out. More than happy to have a chat.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Luke, and mate, great to kind of see you again.
Excellent, Dexter. I've listened to this often when I'm driving or doing the gardening or something, so thanks a lot.
Well, thanks for tuning in today, and make sure to check out our other episodes from Intersekt. If you're new to the show, hit follow and please leave us a review. It really helps us to promote the Australian ecosystem to a global audience. If you're coming back, thanks so much for your support, because it really does mean a lot to us. And if you want to connect with me, reach out on LinkedIn and Twitter. Fintech Chatter is presented by Tier 1 People, leaders in fintech executive search. We'll help you build world-class fintech ventures by connecting you to world-class talent. And you can find out more tier1people.com.